Most of the work that you do on your Mac will be inside of applications. Applications can be something like a web browser, a word processor, or even a productivity app like Notes or Reminders or Calendar. To launch applications you have many options. For instance, some of the most common applications you might use will be here in the dock. If I want to launch Safari, I can simply click the Safari icon in the dock and Safari will launch. Another option is to create a new Finder window and then use the Go menu to go to Applications. You may also find applications here on the left sidebar, and this will list all of the applications on your Mac, and you can run any of them by simply double clicking on that application. So to launch the application called Calculator, you can simply double click that and Calculator will launch. There's a dedicated app for launching applications and it's called Launchpad. You'll find it here in the dock, and if you click it you get a very iPhone, iPad-like interface that shows you different app icons. The dots at the bottom show you that there are several screens, in this case 4 screens. I can click on a dot like that, or I could swipe with my trackpad or mouse to go from screen to screen and then click on any app that I want to launch that app. So if I want to launch the dictionary app I could do so like that. One way that a lot of Mac users like to use to launch apps is to use the Spotlight menu. We'll be looking at the Spotlight menu later, but you could click here or use the keyboard shortcut Command Space and simply search for the name of the app. You don't have to type the entire name to have it come up at the top there. You can see now Calculator is the first item at the top and thus it's selected. So even though I've only typed 4 characters I can now press Return and it will launch the Calculator app. Now when you have several apps open you can see them all on your screen at the same time. Here I have a dictionary app and I'll click in the top part of the window and I could drag the window around. I could drag the window around here for the Notes app and for the Calculator app. And notice how I can overlap them in ways that I can use to view information from different apps at the same time. Another way to switch between apps besides simply clicking in the different windows is to use what's called the app switcher. That's the Command key with the Tab key. You hold the Command key down and then while still holding Command you tap the Tab key. This brings up the app switcher and you see all the apps that are currently running. You can continue to hit Tab. All this time I'm holding the Command key down without releasing it. Every time I hit Tab it will go to the next app and loop through. When I find the app that I want to bring to the front I can stop and then release the Command key. That dismisses the app switcher and brings that application to the front. Your Mac desktop may get crowded like this one is, and there are various ways to deal with that. Later on we'll look at using mission control in multiple desktop spaces. But for now you can simply hide an app. So when you're in an app like this, if I go to the app menu like this, you can see a way to quit. But instead of quitting you can hide. The keyboard shortcut is Command H instead of Command Q for quit. The Notes app is now still running, but it's simply hidden. If I use any method to launch the app or simply use App Switcher, I can switch back to it and it reappears. The app never stopped running, just the window was hidden. So you could be right in the middle of something and hide the app to see other apps and then bring it back very easily. Notice in the dock here that anytime I'm running an app I see a little dot underneath the app telling me that it is currently being used. And all of these apps here are permanently in the dock and we'll look at how to customize the dock later on. But you'll also find other apps to the right that aren't usually in the dock but they're there now because they're running. So you can see all of the running apps, all 4 of them. There are 4 dots. And if I use the app switcher I can see those same 4 apps there. Another thing you can do with an app is you can minimize. This yellow button here will minimize the window. Now note that minimization has to do with the window, not the app. It's possible to have more than one window open with an app. For instance, you could be working on 2 Pages documents or you can have 2 browser windows open. When you minimize it goes down into the dock and there are ways to customize that we'll look at later on as well. And you can simply click on the window in the dock there and it will come back up. A lot of confusion, especially from new Mac users, is over the red close button. The red close button closes a window. Note I'm in the Notes app here. I have a window, a single window for the Notes app. When I click on the red button, notice that the Notes app is still running. I still see it up there and I still see Notes with the dot under it here in the dock. In Windows, it's common that when you click the close button for a window, the app quits. On Mac, it doesn't necessarily do that. In most cases, it won't. The idea is you just wanted to close that window, but you didn't want to quit the app. The app is now available for you to open another window. Matter of fact, I can go to Window and then Notes to reopen that window. That whole time I never quit Notes. On the other hand, if I were to quit Notes like that, then Notes is quit and then I relaunch it and it comes back up and brings that window back again. The distinction is important. Consider that you may be using an app like Pages and perhaps you are working in a document like this and you decide you want to switch and work on a different document. If you were to close that window there and if Pages were to quit, then you'd have to relaunch Pages to open another document. But here you do not have to do that. You can now go and create a new document or open another document and Pages was running the whole time. It will only quit if you actually go to quit Pages. To make this a little more confusing, some apps will actually quit when you close the window. For instance, the Calculator app here, if I were to close that window, notice Calculator quits. So some apps are designed specifically to have one window and when you close that one window the app will automatically quit.